time for a good take.
Welcome back, everyone. Katie and I recently saw the Fantastic Four, and we thought it would be a great opportunity to share some thoughts about it. Yeah, I'm kind of excited to talk about this one.
Me too. And a note spoilers ahead. So if you haven't seen the latest Fantastic Four movie and you don't want spoilers before seeing it, then don't watch this video until you've gone. We'll have some spoilers through it, but I'm excited to talk about it too. And it's funny because we recently did the latest Superman movie. So we've now migrated from DC to Marvel, and I'm ready to talk about it.
Yep, the superhero wheel continues to turn. Um, in our Superman one, I had mentioned I'm not so involved in the superhero kind of genre anymore, and this was refreshing from a Marvel standpoint, anyways. But the reason why I think it'll be interesting is, despite that, I do think you and I have some different opinions on it. We've not talked so much about it, just very brief one line. So I think we might have some differing opinions, and I'm actually interested to see where those differences lie. So what were your overall impressions of Fantastic Four? First Steps, I believe it's called. They're clearly, I mean, obviously it's a Marvel film. More is being cooked up.
For sure. Well, it is aptly named for the standalone movie, but for what is to come as well. I really, really liked this movie. It went back to, for me, what I feel is classic Marvel. And I do need to preface that with I love the Marvel movies. I like the superhero genre, but I'm not a deep invested fan. I don't know the lore. So I'm coming at this from a very normie perspective, okay? But I love Marvel and I like the way that it's cheesy and playful. I know I talked about in Superman, that kind of put me off because that's not the DC vibe, but it is the Marvel vibe. And you very much feel that in this movie. The futuristic 60s aesthetic was amazing. It was like eye candy. I absolutely loved it. And the chemistry among the Fantastic Four, you've got Mr. Fantastic, our boy Pedro Pascal, Invisible Woman, Vanessa Kirby, who I didn't know before this, but showstopper. Human Torch, who's played by Joseph Quinn, and then The Thing, who's played by Eben Moss Backrack. The four of them have an incredible dynamic. You honestly feel like they are a family. I just felt like the actors had undeniable chemistry. And I thought the villains were pretty cool. Like Galactus was very cool. I loved the Silver Surfer vibe. Overall, enjoyed the aesthetic, enjoyed the characters. Yeah, those were my highlights in terms of what I liked most about it, I would say. What did you think? What was your initial kind of thoughts?
I agree with most of that. Right, it's very family driven, like Fast and Furious, and
Very
there
cool.
was great chemistry. Actually, I really enjoyed everyone who played their roles. I found the Flaming Torch to be a tad annoying, but that is
Human
like the
Torch.
character, Human Torch. Well, there, yeah, shows how much I paid attention. Um, I found him a bit annoying, but for the like the retro future vibe, I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
It really felt like its own self-contained thing, kind of separate from the overall Marvel universe. And why I think that's a good thing is you don't need to come into this with knowledge. I've not seen a Marvel film I want to say since Endgame. So you don't miss out. There's no like little nods, or if there are, it's not important. There's no like I don't know, B tier character that you should know.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciated that. Like you said, the chemistry was great. I thought the villains were excellent as well. But overall, I don't know. I found it a bit boring. The
Mm-hmm.
plot I found like it was it was middling. I don't know. It didn't thrill me up. There were some great moments, but throughout the entire thing, I just kind of felt like nothing has happened. I don't know. That was just my
Okay.
takeaway. It wasn't slow. It's just like kind of not up until the very end, just a lot of nothing. I don't know.
I think I know the word you're looking for because it was safe. From start to finish, the
Sure.
movie was so safe. You're right. There, it was lacking plot a little bit, I would say. I mean, there was obviously a story arc, but I agree. They didn't go too deep. And I think it's because this is a stage setter for the next iteration of Marvel movies, where it's essentially a new universe. To my, again, limited understanding of all these different planets, like they're on planet 828, that's not the planet the previous Marvel movies were based in, without getting into that lore. Clearly, it's a very safe introduction to what they want to continue as a larger storyline, as you could see with the post credit scene with Doctor Doom. We all knew Doctor Doom is coming up soon, and I'm so excited to see my boy
But they
Robert
will
Downey
be
Jr.
looping
back.
that in exactly, but they're going to be looping that into the greater universe. And
Yes.
I know we preface this with spoilers, but just as another warning, spoilers. Just to jump quickly to the end,
Mm-hmm.
I was excited throughout the film for the ending because I was under the assumption throughout it that Galactus would win, and I thought that that was going to be really cool because I really liked Endgame, or I guess Infinity War,
Mm-hmm.
for that reason where Thanos gets his snap off,
Yeah.
and I was fully expecting for Galactus to actually destroy this version of Earth, and the Fantastic Four had to jump to the Earth at
Oh.
the regular cinematic universe. So I was really looking forward to that because I thought Galactus was actually the coolest part of this. He doesn't have a lot of screen time,
Mm-hmm.
um, but yeah, I don't know. Like I thought the idea of Galactus. I thought, okay, maybe they're building. I knew about this Doomsday thing,
Mm-hmm.
with Doctor Doom, but I thought maybe they would also build up Galactus and I
Honestly.
mean, he's not defeated fully, but he's a
Mm-hmm.
giant planet-eating god, spawn of an egg or some cosmic egg. It's right there. He's too similar to Thanos, and they don't want to go back to back.
That
Doctor
would have
Doom
been
is
a
obviously
cool.
the main villain for the Fantastic Four, but still.
Mm-hmm. I think how you just outlined that would have been a really cool storyline for this movie, honestly. But I maintain that they wanted to play this safe because,
Yeah, yeah, I think you're right.
yeah, it's been up and down for Marvel. They've had some not hits since Endgame for sure. And I think that this was a safe way for them to introduce a whole new story arc that could be akin to the originals that started with Iron Man. I agree
Hmm.
with you. Galactus was so cool to see an ending within one movie. Felt like we could have seen more of him, but to your point, he's not totally defeated, so it's possible he comes back. And I knew that Doom wasn't going to be a big focus of this movie, so even to just get the
Yeah.
teaser of what to come, honestly, I just feel like this was such a stage setter. I had so much fun with it and enjoyed the characters so much that after leaving the movie, I just thought I want to see them more. And I think that was the exact point of the movie, to just give you a
Hmm.
taste so you do come to the next few and you take the ride, the 20-year ride they're hoping to achieve again. So knowing that that was what I assumed Marvel was trying to do, I wasn't surprised by the safeness of the movie, and I just enjoyed the ride.
No, I think that's a good way of looking at it. I think that you're definitely right. Um, and to that point of like setting the stage, similar to Superman, I'm actually kind of glad that they didn't dwell so much on how the Fantastic Four came to
Mm-hmm.
get their powers. They had this nice little 1960s talk show montage reel of how it came to be. So that
I love
catches the
that.
audience up. I think most people are somewhat familiar with the Fantastic Four. The backstory isn't so deep, so that was really nice. But you're right, it was contrived, not safe, but I think it was a bit contrived with some of the plot points. But eh, I think you're right. It was safe, and I do. That's why I didn't like it. I understand the appeal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
you mentioned quickly like the Silver Surfer, who I thought was really cool. I
Yeah.
thought, okay, like that's it's a nice addition. I guess Galactus and the Silver Surfer go hand in hand. I'm not so well versed in the comics. The uh, the thwarting of the Silver Surfer though I thought was contrived. When it's nice for the Human Torch to have his moment, where because Reed Richards obviously outshines him, and that's kind of a continual plot point throughout.
Mm-hmm.
But how the what's his name? Some Storm, Johnny Storm,
Johnny Storm.
when he finally has his aha moment, he's translated the language and he plays the Silver Surfer's language and all the cries for help from these other planets. And it's like that's her moment where she's realized what she's done. Like
It was
you just
emotion driven. What do you mean? It was great.
is
I loved it.
how does this emotion not stir you when it's happening in the moment after all these endless planets that you've allowed to be consumed? It's hearing the voices relayed on a big screen TV. That's what really does it.
Okay,
That's what
but
gets
to be fair, I think that that's a totally legitimate point, is that when you're taking actions and moving on, you can not think about the repercussions. And then she had to face the consequences. Like, she was delivering these planets to Galactus and moving on to the next one. So she never really had to sit with the consequence of the action. So
Oh,
I
fair
fully
enough.
disagree with you. And I love Johnny Storm, and I'm not going to take this Human Torch hate, all right? First calling him the Flaming Torch. Now you're being rude to my man.
He is flaming.
And I thought Joseph Quinn did a fabulous job. Like, what a versatile actor, because we talked about him in Gladiator 2 and how insane he was as one of the brother emperors.
That's
So,
right.
man has some depth. He's got some dimension.
Yeah, no, all the cast did their roles really well. Um, Even the baby with its big blue eyes.
Oh, I love the baby, Franklin. Okay, well, we were talking about our likes. You really just dived right into your dislikes. So cool there, bro. But I agree with some of yours. I think, the dislikes I noted was that there was a bit of a lack of a storyline. It was more of an introduction to these characters. So I get that, but maybe they did play it a little bit too safe. Um, I can't agree with your dislike on Johnny Storm. Like, he was my favorite. I'm a Pedro girl to the end, but Joseph
Yeah,
Quinn
I'm not.
stole the
I
show.
don't hate him. I just thought, yeah, and that's the character. But at some point, it's like, all right,
The one thing I
cool
will
it
say,
down.
there were two things that really stood out to me that I either wanted more of or wanted them to just get rid of entirely. So with Pedro Pascal's Mr. Fantastic, he showed the intelligence and the cold calculation, but still emotional side of Mr. Fantastic. But I wanted more of the shape shifting extended stuff. Like, if you remember the
Agreed.
2005 version, he was like melting under doors and like becoming a slingshot, and I just wanted more of that. I felt like there was so much more opportunity to do
No, there
fun
was
stuff with
essentially
Mr.
nothing.
Fantastic.
All from my memory, all he really does is like climb around. He
Stretch.
climbs some a fire escape, and then he climbs Galactus. You're right.
The
There was like you could have done so much more with that. It's a
the
very good
best
point.
scene was Galactus like ripping him apart. That was the
Yeah,
only
yeah,
fun
yeah,
part.
yeah.
And then the other
Please
thing was,
snap.
and again, kind of reminds me of the 2005 movie, which I really don't remember that much, except that Jessica Alba was stunning. But the Thing in the 2005 movie had more of a struggle with his identity, if I
It
understand
was more
right.
tragic. Yeah, I guess
Yes,
because you're coming right off the actual backstory, but he didn't like. I don't think this iteration of the thing particularly likes it either. But
right,
it was way more like this is sad. You didn't
exactly.
really win the lottery here.
No, and they did try to show it a little bit in this latest movie, but I felt like they either needed to
With like
commit
the
or
girl, with
not.
the church girl or the
The
teacher,
school
the preschool
teacher,
teacher. Yeah.
who's played by Natasha Lyonne, who's in Orange is the New Black. She's an amazing actress. Loved seeing her in the movie, but it felt weird. Like, the scenes were really harshly cut or randomly put in between two scenes. It just
No,
felt
you're right.
like
Because
such a
sometimes he'd
weird
just be
inclusion.
walking around in his jacket, and he looks cool.
Yeah.
But it would be in between scenes of them in the apartment, and it's like,
Yeah.
when is this taking place?
Agreed.
Very good point. Yeah,
Just
you're right.
commit or exit. That's how I felt about that part. Those are the 2 points that like really stood out to me as like, oh, I felt like that could have been done better. But honestly, that was it. I mean, do you have more to
Well,
add to your laundry list of dislikes?
I
Peter?
do. Taking so like the child. Look, I get it. Fair enough. You can have that be your plot point. Bringing Reed Richards throughout the entire thing is so paranoid about the health of their upcoming baby, and when they find out the threat of the Galactus, there's not one question ever raised about maybe I shouldn't bring my pregnant wife, not only into space, but to go meet Galactus. Like
Equal rights, baby.
you're
Get out of
9 months in.
here.
She's due. She gives birth to the child in this. Like,
This
what
is
are you
blatant
doing?
misogyny, all right? Pregnant women can do anything. I don't
They
want to
can,
hear
yeah,
it.
they can, but with reckless abandon for the child, maybe the child was always going to be fine, but it was this reintroduction
Oh
to
my god.
space radiation that no, it
You
turned
know
out
what?
to be Sue Storm's salvation. Um, Also, like again, like her death was touching, but I never once, I didn't for a second believe
Of
it. I was like,
course.
obviously, like,
Of
and
course.
I think, yeah, like,
You weren't
I don't,
supposed
come
to.
on,
They're just
but
gonna
don't do
kill
it
off one
then.
of the Fantastic Four members. No, that was such
Why
an
not?
obvious Marvel ending. You are looking for too much out of Marvel. It's junk food for children. Enjoy the ride.
No, fair
Like,
enough.
of course, though. Yeah, Invisible
Throw
Woman
me
is
a
dead now.
bone. Fine, no, shut. All right, fine. Like again, it was obvious, and the plot, it's going there. Galactus still could have eaten the Earth. I wanted that to happen, but yeah,
Wow.
the biggest thing over the Silver Surfer thing, over just like the kind of like the family building, which I get. It was the entire movie when I just couldn't stop thinking about like, oh my God, they didn't even be like, maybe you shouldn't go. Like, just bring it down, just load up the 9 month prego lady.
Listen, she was necessary to that whole exchange, and I don't know what to tell you, okay? Also, that scene was very cool. How she had to literally deliver in zero gravity was
Yes, it was
crazy.
cool.
I liked it. So,
And
enough
she,
of the
she gets the
queerness.
ship invisible. I'll add one more thing while I'm on my tangent.
Keep
They
going.
lose their faster than light, like, ship
Okay,
component. I don't know what you call it.
I already know
How?
where you're
Okay,
going.
right. They lose it, and then they get to this black hole. We don't have enough jet fuel or whatever, space fuel to get back to Earth. We'll slingshot around the black hole. All right, fine, fair enough. You're nowhere near the Earth.
How do
Like,
you
how
know?
do you get to?
How do
Well,
you know?
there's no black holes. I mean, maybe 892 or whatever it is there are.
828, and there might be. You don't
So
know.
whatever on their on, but then it's like Mr. Fantastic tells the Thing to put the ship at like 88% the speed of light, 0.8 per 8, the speed of light. It's like, well, why didn't you use your, if you can do that with the ship? Why do
Bro,
you
what are
need
you
that
doing
other
here?
thing?
What,
What's
what are you
going
doing
on
here?
here?
You're not going to
Well, don't.
Interstellar, all right? There's not astronomers on payroll for Fantastic Four. Like, grow up. Actually, grow up. Of course, it makes no sense. Like, what do you want from them? What do
Well,
you
then just
want,
don't have it in.
Sam?
It's simple. How about the ship can just go faster than light? You don't
Oh
need the other
my
thing. The
god.
ship can just go,
We
and
needed
then you
attention
don't have
of
to
the
worry about
black hole, and
it.
it's how Johnny Storm saved the day.
No, and that scene was cool, and fair enough, it was
Yeah.
clever, and it was actually, you mentioned Interstellar. That black hole, I mean, I guess that's just now how we imagine black holes to look like. I think Interstellar did a lot of work.
Of
Anyways, it
course,
looked
a
exactly
different
like the.
format, different type of movie entirely. You're not going to get that kind of stuff out of Marvel.
No, no, I just meant like the look of the black hole, like
Oh,
how it actually
visually,
like
yeah.
appeared.
Okay,
I was like,
fair.
yeah. Anyways, look, you're right. I don't want to nitpick, but just
Oh, you
back to
don't.
back these things is like, what's yeah. But I was like, what's going on here, man? Like,
Oh my
someone's gotta
god.
figure this out.
Good lord. Okay,
I
well,
like the
I
thing though.
even shudder to ask thank you. I was going to say, do you have a favorite scene or a favorite moment? Anything you want to throw us? You like the thing. This is great.
Oh, no, it's Galactus. I mean, his introduction was awesome. He sounded like Jeremy Irons. Maybe that's it's not him.
Oh, it's not
He had a
Jeremy
great
Irons, but.
voice, and when he makes it to Earth and he's like walking past the Statue of Liberty, everything with
Mm-hmm.
Galactus I thought was great.
Yeah.
More Galactus as far as I'm concerned.
Agreed, Galactus was great. For me, it was anything with Human Torch, and I know that, he triggered you, but I absolutely loved Human Torch. I loved this scene. You probably hated this scene when he grabbed the surfboard of Silver Surfer and he was hanging over the earth, and like that visual, oh my
No, that was
god.
nice.
I
No,
loved
and I
it.
like that, like the little joking around about like his little alien girlfriend.
Yeah,
No,
and
that
then
was
he
nice.
actually also
Yeah.
proved his intelligence as well, because I feel like it would have been very easy to like Ron Weasley him and just make him the butt of the joke and the
Mhm.
idiot who just flames around. But the fact that he was able to decode the whole language, I was like such a weird subplot. I don't know. It didn't really move me that much either. I just had to defend it to your total dunking.
We're all
Um,
fantastic.
but yes, exactly.
I
They're all
get.
capable. I liked that. Okay, I know you're mocking me, but I liked that. Hater. Okay, well, I think we've dissected it enough. I am genuinely terrified for your rating, so I think you have to go first so I don't influence it. Out of 10, Sam, keeping in mind everything you've just shared, what's your rating?
A 6,
Okay.
and that's yeah, a 6. It was safe. It was eye candy. I think the actors did a lovely job. They had great chemistry. The villain was great. My main jokings aside, I just didn't really find the plot engaging up until the end.
Yeah.
And then in the way that it was told, I thought it was contrived. 6, generous 6.
You've rated this significantly lower than Superman, which I'm shocked by. But okay, we can maybe do a comparison video at some point. I give it an 8. A strong 8. I was, debating 7.5, but because I see the world building and where this is going, the extra 0.5 is for what's to come. So I thought it was a safe introduction
A
to a
lot
new
of
Marvel
hope.
arc. Listen, it was great. The characters were great. If you just want a fun time, you don't want to sit there and calculate out the mass versus speed and velocity. If you slingshot around a black hole, if you just want to go have fun with your
So
kids or your
that's what Mr.
family.
Fantastic's for.
Okay,
That's
I
his
do
job.
agree. If he had slingshotted them around the black hole, that would have been way cooler. Definitely needed to
He,
see
he
more
should
of
have
Mr.
been it. You're right. He
Fantastic.
should have been a slingshot.
That would have been
You're
cool.
absolutely right.
Yes,
What's
I
going
am
on
right.
here?
What is going on here? Honestly, get Pedro back in the suit, get him to do some crazier stuff than just stretching out his limbs, and get me Doctor Doom. I am the biggest Robert Downey Jr. fan. First time I saw Iron Man, I knew this was my guy, and I cannot wait for his Doctor Doom return. And yeah, I maintain the 8 out of 10. So If we put ours together, 6 out of 10 for you, which, okay,
A
no
generous
judgment.
6.
8 out of 10 for me, then we are putting Fantastic Four at 7 out of 10, which I think is exactly where we ranked Superman. So I
Yeah,
don't know what that
it's
says.
worth a watch when it hits Disney Plus. If people don't go to see it in theaters, it's worth a Disney Plus night.
I think it's worth it in theaters. There's some, you know, beautiful visuals, and Galactus on the big
It
screen
is
is
beautiful.
how
Yeah,
it's
you're
meant
right.
to be seen. So
No,
don't
I
listen to
agree. I
Sam.
think it's always better to go to the theater. I'm just saying, no love lost if you miss out over the next few
No,
weeks.
well, after this review, if anyone watches the movie after seeing this, I'll be shocked. But I hope y'all listen to me and not Sam, because he is a cynical old man.
True that.
All right. Well, that's it for today, but we'll see y'all next time.